For centuries, humanity has stared at the sun from afar, awed by its power, warmed by its light, and terrified by its silence. We built myths around it, called it a god, a furnace, a life-giver. We thought we understood it. But what if that silence was never real? What if we simply hadn't been listening closely enough? In 2018, NASA launched the Parker Solar Probe, a mission so daring it bordered on the impossible. Its goal was to do what no machine had ever done before: fly into the sun's atmosphere itself. Its objective sounded simple on paper: study the solar wind, understand the superheated corona, and survive the unimaginable heat. But what Parker found was anything but simple. What it sent back was not just science. It was a glimpse into something ancient, unpredictable, and perhaps intelligent. This is not the sun described in your textbooks. This is the star we thought we knew, unmasked. To reach the sun, you don't simply launch and coast. You fall. Drawn in by a gravity so immense it bends the fabric of space itself, Parker plunged forward, accelerating to more than 430,000 miles per hour, faster than any human-made object in history. At that speed, you could circle the Earth 17 times in a single hour. But this mission wasn't about speed alone. It was about precision and about intent. Parker was engineered to dive within a mere 5 solar diameters of the sun's surface, where the heat is merciless and the light is blinding. Its survival depended on a revolutionary heat shield, an 8-foot disk of carbon composite, designed to deflect temperatures exceeding 1,400 degrees Celsius. The shield was always angled perfectly to block the radiation streaming from the star. And yet, something happened. During multiple passes, Parker's trajectory shifted, tiny, almost imperceptible deviations. Not caused by gravitational pulls, but by something else. Something invisible. Calculated. The engineering team initially dismissed it as a sensor glitch. But when they cross-referenced the deviations with other readings, a pattern emerged. Each course change coincided with sudden magnetic spikes in the corona. It was as if Parker wasn't just moving through chaotic plasma, but through structure. Structure that seemed to react to the probe's presence. Structure that might have been watching. The corona is a paradox. It is millions of degrees hotter than the sun's visible surface, despite being farther away from its core. By all known physics, this should not happen. Heat should move outward, not the other way around. Parker's instruments didn't just confirm the mystery, they deepened it. It recorded massive bursts of energy unlike any solar flare or sunspot ever catalogued. These pulses moved like waves, coherent, rhythmic, and eerily focused. One such burst hit the probe so hard it triggered an automatic reorientation, as though something had deliberately targeted it. When scientists traced the source, they found it came from a region of the corona previously mapped as inactive. That region now pulsed with electromagnetic patterns no one had ever seen before. If this was plasma, it was plasma behaving like a transmitter. If it was energy with intention. Deep inside Parker's body was a small, symbolic payload, a memory card carrying a photograph of Dr. Eugene Parker, his original 1958 paper predicting the solar wind, and the names of 1.1 million people from Earth. A gesture of poetry, a time capsule. After one of its closest passes, engineers noticed something strange. The memory card's magnetic shielding, designed to keep it safe, had fluctuated. Not randomly, but in a sequence. These weren't errors. These were structured binary shifts. As if something had written onto the card. The patterns bore similarities to primitive digital communications, low-frequency modulated signals. It was no longer a question of whether the sun could affect Parker. The question was, did the sun reply? Then came the strangest phenomenon yet. During another close pass, a section of the ultraviolet spectrum simply vanished from Parker's readings. Not dimmed, not scattered. Gone. For exactly 11 seconds, the probe flew through an invisible corridor where sunlight did not exist. All other sensors worked perfectly. No damage, no shadow, no obstruction. When the data was mapped in 3 dimensions, the blackout formed a perfectly defined channel through the corona. Some scientists called it exotic plasma filtering. Others said nothing. Internally, it gained a name, the shadow gate. If light can be controlled in the sun's outer layers, who, or what, is doing the controlling? And then, Parker heard something. A stream of low-frequency waves came through its radio instruments. At first, they looked like ordinary electromagnetic interference. But on closer inspection, the waves were modulated, structured, repeating. They echoed. It was like a sonar ping bouncing back from nothing. No satellite. No debris. Nothing but superheated gas. And yet, the signal returned. More than that, it was layered. Multiple frequencies, overlapping like voices in a static-filled choir. NASA never released the recording. But fragments leaked. Cryptographers who studied them claimed the patterns were recursive, data looping back on itself, like a language. On another pass in 2024, Parker's internal temperature sensors spiked. For 0.2 of a second, it recorded heat far beyond its shield's rated tolerance. Yet nothing was damaged. The source matched the timing of the Shadowgate event. Some scientists began to whisper about focused energy beams, narrow, invisible, tunable. Like a scanner. Not a flare, not a random burst, something selective. The most haunting images came from what scientists called the coronal fingers, thin, towering columns of plasma, thousands of kilometers high. Not chaotic like normal prominences, but symmetrical, ordered. One of them bent as Parker approached, curling toward the spacecraft. Plasma is not supposed to move like that. One physicist, off the record, wrote a single line in their notes. It looked like it was reaching for us. And then, in mid-2025, came the silence. For 91 seconds, Parker was alive, recording, transmitting, functioning perfectly. And when the data came back, it was blank. Not corrupted, not missing, just empty. The instruments confirmed they were operating within optimal parameters. Yet they had measured nothing at all. Some believe Parker passed through a region that blinded its sensors. Others think it was made blind. Among the mission leaders who saw the complete file, one phrase appeared in red ink across a printed readout. We weren't allowed to see. We sent Parker to study a star. It may have trespassed into something older. Something aware. It answered with silence where there should have been sound. With light erased from space. With pulses like voices. With hands of plasma reaching from the fire. And maybe, just before the blackout, it looked back. Because buried deep in the telemetry logs, timestamped less than half a second before the void, was a final, inexplicable anomaly. Not radiation, not heat, not magnetic disturbance. A pattern. 7 spikes. 3 pauses. 7 more spikes. Repeating. Some saw it as random interference. Others ran it through old SETI filters. It wasn't just a pattern. It was a reply.